Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Lee-Shioda. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Singapore TIMA Chapter holds a free clinic to safeguard the health of local residents. A care recipient family in Indonesia walks out of the shadow of despair and volunteers with Tzu Chi. Student volunteers of Tzu Chi's SCLove organization visits Sichuan, China to hold a camp for local students. Once again, the 7th lunar month is fast approaching. Tzu Chi volunteers have begun to promote the right way to celebrate this auspicious month and dispel the superstitions of needing to burn joss paper as offerings. Next, we'll visit a few blessing ceremonies that volunteers held in various parts of Taipei, as well as the Hualien area. A group of some 80-90-year-old seniors from Minqing Borough are learning about the benefits of vegetarianism. The promotional video left a deep impression on one senior.
When I saw that video, my heart was aching. I wanted to cry. I think after I've eaten the food in my fridge, I will take on a vegetarian diet. As it's nearing the auspicious 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers have also prepared a special program. Tzu Chi volunteers also held an event at Zhuhe Borough to ask the locals not to burn joss paper and to replace their meat offerings with flowers, vegetables, and fruits. Many of the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters stopped burning joss paper after joining the organization. They are still healthy, safe, and able to continue doing good deeds. Many local residents will take the challenge of keeping a vegetarian diet for 108 meals in an effort that not only benefits their own health, but also the planet. Meanwhile, at a park in Wanhua, 120 local residents pray sincerely to honor the Buddha. As long as we have good intentions, then that's enough. We don't need to burn a lot of joss paper. If we vow to do one good deed a day and speak one good phrase a day, then I think we will have peace and safety each day. Dispelling the myth surrounding the tales of the 7th lunar month, Wanhua Tzu Chi volunteers held an event to inform everyone of the right way to spend the upcoming month, which begins with reducing one's carbon footprints on the dining table.
We encourage everyone to adopt a vegetarian diet, which is good for animals as well as good for our body.
Tzu Chi volunteers also visit the Fuxing Park in Beitou to promote their 7th lunar month campaign of not burning joss paper and eating a vegetarian diet. Protecting life, plants, people, and animals is all the same kind of love. Through simple acts like refraining from eating meat and not burning joss paper, everyone can do their part to safeguard Mother Earth. Tzu Chi Singapore TIMA Chapter held a free health examination at the Yuhua Community Club. The annual examination generally finds that 10 to 20% of people who participate will require further medical treatment.
Miss Fan has been having ear problems for a while, but she hasn't taken it seriously because it is difficult for her to make the trip to see a doctor.
有一点点。
那时候你有想过要去看医生还是什么吗？
没有。
为什么呢？
我这腿的光毛病，看医生我看不来。
Tzu Chi's TIMA holds a free medical examination, and it ends up helping many elderly people discover the extent of their hearing problems.
A lot of research show that a lot of patients, they present very, very late. When we do the screening test today, if we find that they fail the screening test, then we can refer them directly to the hospital.
The health examinations include Chinese medicine, dentistry, and optometry. TIMA also had drawn blood from 210 people 1 week earlier. So these people will be informed of the result of their blood tests at the clinic.
I haven't done any health examination for a long time, so I have been wondering if I am suffering from diabetes. The blood test shows that I am all right.
Minister Grace Fu Haiyan of the Prime Minister's office also came to see how the public are doing. The venue also displays photos showing Tzu Chi's charity over the years.
I feel this organization is very good because it has done so much charity work in other countries.
Here in Singapore, Tzu Chi is working hard to protect people's health and also inspire them to do charity work.
Being healthy is a common desire of every senior citizen. To help them achieve this wish, Tzu Chi's TIMA Singapore chapter holds a medical talk every month, inviting everyone to learn more about health education. If you don't exercise and you don't control your diet, then you'll have a higher chance of getting diabetes.
Currently in Singapore, there are over 400,000 people suffering from diabetes. The main cause for getting this disease is living an imbalanced lifestyle.
People with diabetes don't just get it yesterday or today. We notice that more and more young people are getting this disease. Young people should prevent themselves from getting it. Try to boil food instead of stir-frying it, and don't drink the soup to avoid consuming too much salt.
Nutritionist Lee-Shioda said that half of the population eat out most of the time. So if they can find a balanced diet and exercise more often, they can prevent themselves from being unhealthy.
This lecture is very important to me because I also have some health problems, so I want to know how I should consume sugar and how to improve my health.
TIMA every month invites medical professionals, such as Chinese medicine doctors and dentists, to talk about the common diseases to the public.
By giving information to the patient, hopefully they can do the right things and reduce their chances of falling sick. So actually, I think the success for TIMA is not just to treat people when they have fallen sick, but try to prevent them from falling sick.
I was taught in Chinese, so I feel comfortable listening to Chinese. Prevention is better than treatment, so I feel becoming knowledgeable will help me to watch out for my health. When I'm healthy, my family will feel at ease.
As people are getting old in Singapore, staying healthy is an important piece of fortune. This lecture offers an alternative way to feel rich.
TIMA members from Northern Taiwan Chapter and medical staff from Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital visited the Xindian branch of the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation to clean the teeth of patients in a persistent vegetative state. Although more efforts were needed to provide medical services to these patients, the medical professionals all promised to visit here once more.
50 people, including medical staff from Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital Department of Dentistry and TIMA members from Northern Taiwan Chapter, have come to Genesis Social Welfare Foundation Xindian branch to clean the teeth of patients who are in a vegetative state. To prevent the patients from accidental tongue biting or aspiration pneumonia caused by inhaling water during the process of teeth cleaning, the medical team has to spend 3 to 4 times the manpower looking after one patient.
I appreciate the Tzu Chi Foundation and the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation for providing dental services for these PVS patients.
It's the weekend, but everyone has still come to help provide our patients with dental care and even tooth extractions. This is really a great assistance to us.
These PVS patients are unable to neither express their needs nor gratitude. However, many medical staff joining the event for the first time were deeply moved.
They can speak their needs to us. Verbal communication is something we often take for granted when we see patients. In coming here today, I feel my biggest reward is in understanding that in terms of long-term care, it's something dentists can explore to provide better care for. In the future, we can also come here frequently to help out.
The medical team and staff members completed their mission carefully and with gratitude. They have also formed a good affinity with these patients during the process of medical services.
Tian is a recycling volunteer who lives in Indonesia's North Jakarta. In 2013, Kang Tian was diagnosed with breast cancer, which later reoccurred in 2015. In early July, her physical condition made a dramatic improvement for the better, and she was able to join her family performing recycling work.
In 2013, Kang Tian was diagnosed with breast cancer, which required surgery. Then 2 years later, in 2015, the cancer occurred again, leading her to require more treatment.
At that time, when I began taking chemotherapy, I lost my hair and my nails turned black. I also didn't have any appetite and had nausea and was constantly vomiting. I gathered my children close and told them that it was hard for me to battle through this pain.
In fact, as early as 2009, Kang Tian's daughter, Nana, was afflicted with a thyroid disease, leading them to become Tzu Chi care recipients. With her new illness, Tzu Chi made another assessment of the family's circumstances and provided financial assistance, helping reassure Kang Tian and allowing her condition to improve gradually. Recycling Day is held on the first weekend of each month and was begun 7 years ago in 2009. Kang Tian is now finally able to don a recycling volunteer uniform and report for service at the Pelesterian Lingkungan Recycling Station.
Saya terus terang setelah bergabung di sini.
Honestly speaking, since joining Tzu Chi, I have not only participated in activities for care recipients, but also recycling events. I'm happy to offer my services to those in need, and I believe that I'm blessed in spirit and would like to share it with others.
Kayaknya bisa berbagi dengan sesama.
Senang juga. I am very happy to see the volunteers again and become involved in environmental protection together. I also help distribute Eid gifts to others. Today, I am finally able to participate once again, and I feel really comfortable that I have physically been able to eliminate the disease.
Living in Indonesia's North Jakarta, this mother and her 2 children feel that their life is not only rich, but that their hearts are also filled with love, as they desire to give back by helping others. These children have also gone a step further by showing their filial piety and working with their mother.
Mr. Zheng, who lives in Shuao Yilan, has to look after his son and granddaughter who are ill. He had no time to clean his home, so the house had become quite filthy. Tzu Chi volunteers helped him clean up his home and also provided emotional comfort and care.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Yilan County came to Mr. Zheng to help him solve his problems. 82-year-old Mr. Zheng is old and frail. His son and granddaughter suffer from mental disease, so this family has become accustomed to living in filth.
His son suffers from some mental disease, and his granddaughter also suffers from some disability. So she goes to a special school.
Mr. Zheng's daughter-in-law has left home with her son, so this 2-story home became very filthy.
We noticed in the living room a strong stench of urine, so we decided to clean up their house. The second floor was worse than the first floor. We cleaned the ceilings and the walls and washed all the boards. As for the cement, we will repaint everything covered by cement. We have also washed clean the floor on the first floor and waxed it afterwards.
While 31 volunteers are cleaning up the home, they discovered something rather unexpectedly. At the same time, the mailman delivered mail from his daughter-in-law.
Your eldest grandson is now in university, the Kaohsiung National Marine University. So in the next 4 years, he will be studying in Kaohsiung. I believe when you receive this news, you will be very happy.
Mr. Zheng is weeping happily for the discovery of a lost gold necklace and the news from his long-lost family member. In the future, Tzu Chi volunteers pledge to continue helping this family.
In Taiwan, TIMA members from Tainan have been caring for a paralyzed man. Mr. Huang lives in Yujing, yet his parents live in Guanshan. His mother has to travel between these two places to look after him. To lessen his mother's burden, Mr. Huang asked Tzu Chi volunteers for help, hoping to partition a part of his parents' house in Guanshan for him to live in. Here's more.
To fix the foundation of a partition, professional workers set up the steel bars and install the noise barrier. Then these Tzu Chi volunteers takes over to apply putty on the wall and polish it before painting. Another group of workers, including volunteers, are working on installing electricity and plumbing. More than 10 volunteers have joined to complete this work. They are busy lighting the room and passing tools to each other. They finished the mission in only 8 hours. Senior Huang is so glad that there is a room for his paralyzed son. The son feels sorry for troubling his mother by making her travel between Guanshan and Yujing to take care of him.
Mr. Huang's father lives in Guanshan with his mother. Because his father suffered a stroke, he wanted to renovate the house so he could live with them. After receiving my message, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters show up 2 weeks later to complete the renovation.
Mr. Huang, who has long been cared for by TIMA members, still lives in Yujing. After Tzu Chi volunteers showed him pictures of the completed renovation, his happiness is clear from his words and expression. With TIMA members' love and care, Mr. Huang has become more positive. Apart from this, he has also fulfilled his filial piety with the help of Tzu Chi volunteers.
Over summer vacation, SCLove, a group of students from Tzu Chi University, held a special camp in Sichuan, China. The event allowed these university students to interact with local students and teachers as they all attend a symposium with Sichuan youth volunteers who were invited to join Tzu Chi.
Holding hands with this volunteer, a group is led along this rural country lane, past cornfields and up and down hills. For students who grew up in the city, they can't imagine the difficult trip to school each day for children in the countryside. This has made them more resilient and admired by others. Zhou Mei is a 6th grade student and still uses wood to cook. She presents the group with popsicles bought with the money she earned from picking tea.
采1斤，爷爷采3斤，奶奶采3斤，是不是？哎呦，好乖，我们好爱你哦，这么乖。
Some of these parents make their living raising trees up in the mountains, and one promised to give these guests a precious yew tree.
In Taiwan, we mobilize people to care for our children in China, reaching these elementary students to grow up correctly. I think we should dig up a yew tree and give it to you as it will grow larger and become a sort of memorial.
Tzu Chi University's volunteer team used their summer vacation to visit Sichuan to help local school children as well as engage in exchange. The students from Taiwan noticed how optimistic the local students are. The local students and teachers took the opportunity and held a symposium, with more than 2/3 of the teachers from the Chaoyang Tzu Chi School in attendance.
The curriculum integrates moral education regardless if your primary interests are mathematics, sports, language, arts, or music. All of these pursuits should integrate Jin's aphorisms.
These teachers focus more on loving the students. You can almost say they use an almost parental way to lead them.
The Huaxi Volunteer Humanities Camp also saw Sichuan youth volunteers going to the streets to promote environmental protection. It was an inspiring event with some promising to attend every year.
The more you put in, the more you will receive. So we can say this will help us change for the better.
I'm really impressed with all these things that we can do, such as recycling.
The SCLove camp continues to get bigger each year, including a larger variety of locations such as a trip into the mountains. Many believe the event can easily overcome many of the variables it may encounter.
The big challenge is continue to hold the event. Is it difficult? I don't think so, as we always have some young people who can help us.
In the end, this camp aims to inspire more people to continue to help each other overcome difficulties, which can be the greatest memory of all.
As Master Zhenyan says, there are no children incapable of learning. There are only teachers and parents who have not yet found a suitable method. As children grow, they need proper guidance from parents and teachers. Next, we'll visit some students in Taichung's Shalu who come from single-parent households and who have been receiving extra instruction from Tzu Chi volunteers for nearly a year.
Before beginning each class, these students sincerely perform a hand-washing ritual.
It's very formal and we're sincere as we do it. It's not just about having fun.
Washing her hands to purify them all signifies purifying your heart. It's part of calming the heart and mind.
These students are from the Beishe Middle School in Taichung. They either come from single-parent households or are raised by grandparents. Without stable parental guidance, many are prone to behavioral problems and learning difficulties.
Sometimes the way they speak isn't good. They just say this and that without a thought. But slowly over time, we're there to show them with love.
Throughout the class, students each receive individual attention from volunteers by their side.
Before, his writing was a mess, but look at today's, it's much neater, looks very nice.
This is third-year middle school student Li Jingwei. Because he hated studying, his grades really suffered. However, since joining the Tzu Chi program, his attitude and his performance have both improved.
They have been very good to us, and we want to show them respect in return. We're better behaved now.
I really have noticed the change in the kids. They're more kind and obedient. They recognize their gratitude, especially for the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters.
The children can open up to the volunteers, sharing not only their joys, but also their worries and grief. The Tzu Chi volunteers know that love is the most important means of putting children on a positive life path. The tea ceremony offered by the children is deeply moving to these parents.
I think we should express gratitude to our mom and dad because they're the ones who raised us.
Tzu Chi designed the parent-child courses as a way to cultivate filial piety in the family. The small tea ceremony is an expression of a child's respect and gratitude. Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Shaos have come to the beach to do a garbage cleanup. The youth participating today will experience firsthand how to express care for the earth. Under the guidance of Tzu Chi volunteers, these young people will continue to cultivate good character and a charitable nature as they grow into young adults.
At the end of the program, we joined Tzu Chi volunteers from the Northern Toronto office in Canada as they were invited to set up a booth to introduce the organization at Councillor Castro Liu's annual barbecue event in Richmond. Volunteers were very thankful for this event as they have had a good relationship with the councillor for the past few years. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.